with that, I will let Carolina introduce our next speaker, who's going to show us, she's an artist, and also will have a fantastical movie.
Yes, hello. So I would like to introduce Yingci Rebecca Zhong, who is an industrial and interaction designer, currently studying at the California College of Art, interested in biodesign, and she's continuing her research into biomaterials. So, I know Rebecca is with us on Zoom. Oh, now we can see her. So let's give her a warm welcome. Hi, Rebecca.
Can you guys hear my audio?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see your slides.
Okay. All right. So, hi, everyone. Thank you so much to having me speak today. So my name is Rebecca. So for this short presentation, I will briefly introduce the project Memory Fragment, including the inspiration and exploration process. So before I put on mask, I never felt that the sense of smell has such an important role in my life. But when I think back to the year 2020, when the pandemic was at this peak, I realized my memory is fuzzy and is not so three-dimensional anymore. So I started thinking about the importance of smell in the five senses. What role does smell play in our lives? So during the research process, I learned about the Proust effect. You can simply understand that it means as long as you smell the scent you have smelled, it will open the memory at that time. So I'm sure everyone has scents that are very deep in their memory, like the smell of book pages, the smell of coffee, and you just don't realize that this the scent fragment that make up your memory. So with this in my mind, I wondered if I could help my grandfather who has mild symptoms of Alzheimer's. I want to design a tool to help solidify his memory through scent. As you can see, my grandfather who used to keep track of the pocket money he gave to his grandchildren, and he also recorded his life enjoyings because he was so afraid that he one day forget. So I wanted to collect, cultivate, and visualize scent to design a set of therapies that will allow smells to act as memory bounding. Right now, I may just quickly go through the process of visualizing the scent. Otherwise, it will overlap too much with my video. Basically, I start from the smell map, collect the objects that emit the smells, sampled and cultured bacteria from them, and I dyed the bacteria as they grew because I think color has a strong connection to visual memory. The part of culturing the bacteria is very interesting for me. You can see the colors spread out a little bit over time, and I try different dyeing during the dyeing process. Food coloring is the fattest to be absorbed, and you can see the blue part is the food coloring. Watercolor and pastel, however, will stay on the surface, which is the purple and pink part. The growth of bacteria seems to me be somewhat similar to the growth of memory. At first, it's bright and active. After a while, it becomes stable and you don't record it that easily. And finally, it's fade and settle. So for the end, I would like to leave these beautiful pictures here and just lead us into the memory fragment movie part. Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Do we have, we will now, maybe any question to Rebecca? Somebody?
Sure, I have one.
Okay.
Play the video first?
Okay, we do video first and then wait with us and we have a question waiting.
Do we need sound? Sound, please.
However, starting 2020, we're locked in by masks. I never felt that a sense of smell has such an important place in my life. So I started to think, what role does sense of smell play in our lives? Does it have any deeper effect on human beings? In order to thwart these questions, I started to do some investigations related to affection. I learned about Proust effect. The Proust effect refers to vivid reliving of events from the past through sensory stimuli. Many of us are familiar with those special moments when you are taken by surprise by tiny sensory stimulus, for example, the scent of your mother's soap, that evokes an intense and emotional memory of an episode from your childhood. So I was wondering if I could use scent as a therapy to stimulate people and associate memory through a scent. My inspiration comes from my grandfather. He is now 90 years old. And in addition to his declining eyesight and hearing, I can clearly feel that his memory has also started to decline in recent years. He would suddenly forget what happened yesterday, call people by the wrong names. Like my grandfather, these elderly people and those with Alzheimer's are experiencing the fear of loss, and they're trying to remember their lives in their own way. So I really want to make a project for people like my grandfathers whose memory was starting to fade, to retain good memory through the stimulations of scent, or even at least to make people feel some emotions. At the beginning of the project, I start thinking about what smells existing in our lives. Now I'm in San Francisco, so I went to Golden Gate Park and Haight-Ashbury to make a smell map to count different smells. Both of these places are very representative of San Francisco and are extremely densely populated. I use different colors to show different smells, like trees are green and food is yellow. And the intensity and range of smell, I use multi-layered circles to indicate. First is Golden Gate Park, where multiple green circles represent the scent of nature that filled this area. The smell of Haight-Ashbury is more varied and complex. It is a mix of residential and commercial areas, full of the smells of food, people, buildings, and traffic. These smells are present in our daily lives, but we always subjectively ignore them. I started collecting objects that produce odor in our lives, plants that have strong odors of their own, spices that use in cooking, and even some odors that people don't usually like. I collect all the raw material that give off these smells, put into small glass bottles, and number them. And I collect some rosemary, tea, flowers, lemon peels, or even cardboard. I collect a total of 10 scents and let different people smell and record their feelings on the scent form. In this scent form, people first write down the scent number, then record the intensity, and finally draw the color that comes to their mind. Why do I want to record colors? Because color has strong connection with visual memory. Through a form of scent visualization, users can establish a mental connection in scent and color, helping them to use smell alone for memory extraction while bringing the stimulation of visual memory. Through a series of tests, I got these tables. I find that people color association for scents are very similar. For example, number 1 is light yellow, number 2 mint is green, number 3 coffee is brown or red, cheese is orange, and surprisingly, many people think that garlic smells dark blue. I wanted to visualize the smells as well as the color in a unique and interesting way. So I used the bacteria that I collected from this object and grow them inside petri dishes, waiting for the bacteria to grow and then staining them with the color data I had counted. To be able to feel the form and color of this bacteria, I started to air dry them after they stopped growing. And when they were completely dry, I gently peeled the dry bacteria agar from the petri dish so that I could get these visual smells with unique patterns and colors. I cut all bacteria into individual circles, and I want to seal them with epoxy. I tried drawing circles with glue gum as a mold to hold the epoxy. Then I pull out the solution and wait for them to dry. After 24 hours, all the epoxy had solidified and all the texture and colors were well preserved. Then I started to trim off licking drips with scissors to get my final visual scent pieces. I used a glue gun to assemble each bacteria piece with the bottle. Bacteria are a microscopic form of raw material for scent, and color is the visual sensation that people associate with memory. Combining them with scent, I then got a complete set of visualized scented perfume bottles that can help people associate and stimulate memory. I hope that this series of scent bottles will become an opportunity for seniors to share and connect. By smelling these bottles, they will be able to share the unique and valuable memories they remember when they are stimulated by scent. In addition, I find that elderly people often maintain their sensory experience by playing puzzles, such as blocks, chess, or card games. In the process, they exercise their minds and stimulate their five senses. So I designed a memory hive based on the scent bottles, a buildable memory scent box, where each individual hexagonal box is a small drawer that you can put scent bottles in. My concept is that the user can put not only scent bottles in this drawer, but anything that has its own scent or can represent a scent. It is like a hive community that stores memories and use scent as a bridge to memory. The bottom box is the most recent scent and the top box is the
But amazing work, I have to say. Amazing work. I have two comments/questions. One is, first of all, what a wonderful thing you did with connecting the color to the scent perception. I am supremely surprised, and yet at the fact that I'm not surprised that garlic, people said garlic is blue, because if I think about garlic, that's what I get too, as a color. And I have an idea. I would like you to try this with people who are anosmic. Anosmic people will not consciously perceive any of the scents that you've made. However, you can still ask them to put their nose in a bottle, sniff the bottle, and then choose a color. Wouldn't it be interesting if the anosmic people did just as well as the people with full olfactory perception? And the reason why I think that might be possible is because there's non-conscious olfactory perception also, including olfactory receptors that are activated outside of the epithelium and did not connect to the brain directly. And it's quite interesting to see if that really pans out. If anosmic people have similar associations to colors, that means that the synesthetic pathways do not only depend on the conscious perception. And that would be a feat for you to find out, and I'm super excited to see what you can do. And if you're looking for anosmics, we have one right here in Osmocosm, Tara Scudder. There she is. And I think she can volunteer for you, no? Yeah. Yes? We will link your movie on our website also for everybody to watch. I'm sorry, we have to move on to the next speaker.
No.
Okay, we have one very quick question. And
One
then
very quick question.
Yeah.
Sorry. Fascinating work. The question I have is, while you're doing this work, have you been able to figure out whether or not you can revive certain memories that are sad or happy moments? Because, helping your grandfather kind of bring back memories, so, they can be differentiated in happy moments or maybe sad moments.
Yeah, because during my interview, some moment he remembers most definitely the happy moment, and like the sad moment, for my perspective, people just gonna be hiding or sick deep in their mind, so they don't really want to pull back and think about the saddest things. So one thing I'm thinking about this project is that should I helping people to remember the saddest things, or I can just focus on the happiest things, the most things they don't want to forget about. Yeah.
Okay, last question.
I'm
Truly
sorry,
last.
but now you know. So where's the color black in everything you're doing?
Yeah.
What order does that bring out, or does it?
Yeah, because right now, if you want me to think a scent can relate it to the color black, I mean, I have no answer right now.
Yeah.
I can't think anything is black because it's too, it's a pure color and it's just not have any emotional connection with black.
Thank you so very much. We will put your wonderful clip online, and let's thank our speaker again. Okay.